Think about this for a second. What if a single lawsuit could free 40,000 people from jail? Or force an entire city to clean up its air? Well, in India, there's a legal tool that does exactly that. It's called Public Interest Litigation, or PIL for short, and it didn't just tweak the law, it completely reshaped the very idea of justice for an entire country.
Yeah, I know. It sounds like something out of a movie, right? But that's the real power that PIL gives people. It allows any citizen, you, me, anyone, to become a champion for those who can't fight for themselves. It basically turns the courthouse into an arena for the public good. Okay, so what is this thing really? Well, to put it simply, public interest litigation isn't about your personal problem. It's about our collective problem. It's a legal tool that lets any regular citizen knock on the door of the highest courts, not for their own personal gain, but for a cause that affects all of us.
But who is it really meant for? At its heart, PIL was specifically designed to give a megaphone to the voices that are so often ignored. It was created for the poor, the marginalized, basically anyone who just doesn't have the resources or the know-how to navigate a really complex legal system. PIL steps in and becomes their advocate, giving them a real shot at demanding justice and holding powerful people accountable. It's all about making sure the law serves everyone, not just those who can afford an expensive lawyer. Now, the story of how PIL came to be in India, it isn't just some boring legal footnote. It's a full-blown judicial revolution that literally transformed the system from the inside out.
So the idea actually got its start in the US back in the civil rights era, but it found really fertile ground in India. See, after the national emergency in the 1970s, public trust in the system was at an all-time low. The Supreme Court knew it had to do something big, and that's when two visionary judges, P.N. Bhagwati and V.R. Krishna Iyer, came along with a pretty radical change.
And they did it by changing one simple but incredibly powerful legal rule: locus standi. I know, it sounds super technical, but trust me, this single change was the key that unlocked everything.
So here's how it worked before. The rule was rigid. Locus standi meant that only the person who was directly hurt could file a case. If your rights were violated, only you could go to court. But after PIL, the Supreme Court just relaxed that rule. Suddenly a journalist, a social activist, or any concerned citizen could file a case on behalf of, say, bonded laborers or prisoners who couldn't possibly do it themselves. The doors to the courthouse were thrown wide open.
And this change wasn't just some theory in a law book. Oh no, it led to some absolutely dramatic, nation-changing courtroom battles. So let's look at how this all played out in the real world.
The first really big test was the Hussain-Iraq Khatun case. And it all started with a newspaper article about the shocking condition of prisoners in Bihar. Get this, some of them had been stuck in jail for longer than their maximum possible sentence.
The impact was just staggering. This one single PIL led to the immediate release of over 40,000 people. But even more than that, it established a crucial legal precedent that a speedy trial isn't just a privilege, it is a fundamental right. This was a massive win for human rights, all sparked by one court case.
Then you have a guy like MC Mehta, an environmental lawyer who almost single-handedly used PIL to fight for India's environment. His name is attached to a whole series of landmark cases that we still feel the effects of today.
Seriously? Think about it. Major efforts to clean the Ganga River, that came from one of his PILs. Creating a special protection zone around the Taj Mahal, also him. Driving huge policy changes on vehicle emissions in Delhi, you guessed it, all direct results of his work. He effectively turned the PIL into a powerful shield for the nation's natural heritage.
But PIL also tackled deeply personal yet widespread issues, like the safety of women at work. And the landmark Vishaka case was born from a truly horrific crime committed against a social worker named Planwari Devi.
At the time, there was literally no law defining or dealing with sexual harassment at the workplace. So in response to a PIL, the Supreme Court itself stepped in and created the Vishaka Guidelines, a brand new set of rules that all workplaces had to follow. This was the foundation for the official law that came years later, the POSH Act. A PIL filled a critical, gaping hole in the law.
So when you add up all these cases and hundreds more just like them, what's the cumulative effect? Well, it's nothing short of a fundamental shift in the balance of power.
The impact has been vast, and it really falls into three key areas. It's been a powerful tool for defending basic human rights, it has promoted good governance by exposing corruption, and, as we saw with MC Mehta, it's become a vital force for protecting the environment.
But, with such a powerful tool, there's always a risk. The very thing that makes PIL so effective, how accessible it is, can also be its biggest weakness.
And that raises a crucial question. Has this legal instrument, designed for the public good, ever been misused for private or political interests? The answer, unfortunately, is yes. It really is a double-edged sword. On one hand, PIL protects rights and ensures accountability, but on the other, it's been misused for personal publicity. Some people even call it publicity interest litigation. It's been weaponized in political rivalries and has definitely added to the court's heavy caseload. And this has sparked some valid concerns about judicial overreach, where courts start stepping into the roles of government.
Yet, despite all the criticisms, its legacy is just undeniable. As one person put it, PIL transformed the Indian judiciary into a people's court. And that just hits the nail on the head. It broke down the old walls and created a space where the voiceless could finally be heard.
In the end, PIL was designed to give a voice to those who had none. So the real question for us today is, who are the voiceless now? And how can this powerful tool continue the fight for them?